Good morning, Morgan.
Morning, Mr. Freeman.
Good morning, George.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Hello.
Rise and shine, Stubby. Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up.
Wake up, George.
Wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Brunch with Boater. Today we're playing I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. I almost read the stream title and not the game title. This is our final year in game. It's about being a teenager, and we're 19 going into this. A little bit before I open up the game, though, we are not at the moment raising money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. That comes at the end of the month. The last Friday of April is when they really kick off the creative season, or sorry, the creator, whatever. Anyway, the main season starts the last Friday of the month. That said, the campaigns have started, so I'm going to drop the link for the 2025 St. Jude Play Live campaign in here, in case anyone wants to give that a little jump start before we dive into things. My main kickoff stream will be the last Saturday of the month. That is going to be Saturday, April 26th, that will be kicking off St. Jude Play Live. There's a new reward or two. The milestone incentives are getting set up, where the Whisper stream at 250, the Perler Bead stream at 500. I don't have a 751, but at 779.08, we will have raised $10,000 for St. Jude lifetime. Lego building stream at 1,000, and more to unlock on the way once we reach that first goal. So, I will leave that alone. I've dropped the link in once, and that's enough. Again, this isn't a St. Jude fundraising stream. I don't have the branding around here, and frankly, the game has a few too many mature themes for it to be a good one for that, which is why I'm glad we're finishing it up. So that being said, without further ado, let me find... Okay, there will be some ado in me finding the desktop icon. Where are you? Listen, y'all, this is my desktop right now. Which one are you? Here's my space games. There you are. Why are you under Voodoo Vince? That's a weird place for you to be. Okay, we continue the game, starting off the final year, 19 years old, as we are in quiet season. At the end of last year, there was an explosion, and Dis was nowhere to be seen. So we could potentially try to find him. We're going to talk to everyone, see what they've got for dialogue. If your mom already said no, I agree with her. Alright, Dad's got nothing fresh to say. Your dad used to joke that your mom got a prosthetic leg so she could run faster than everyone else before you had Genetech. You don't think that's true. You guess she lost it in some kind of fight, but she barely ever talks about it, except for days like today when she's stumbling around like one leg is shorter than the other. Stupid thing, when am I gonna have time to get this damn thing fitted right? You find Cal behind the garden shed, kneeling down and... Yeah, okay, so... Aw. In peering under a tarped-up old watering pot, he shushes you and gestures for you to come look under the tarp. There in the dusty gloom, six four-eyed hop kittens blink up at you, eerily out of sync. I haven't seen their mom in a while, Cal says. I don't want to touch them, in case she's still around and she smells me on them, but... one of the damn jarheads probably got to her. So, nobody's really talking about what happened in Glow. Right! No. Okay, so yeah, we had our exploration in Glow, and our kind of, this could be the end if we wanted it to be, but we reloaded. And then, yeah, there was the attack on the colony after that. Mars is sitting with her head propped up in her hand. I just think I'd make a better governor, she sighs. Instead, this spacehead with a gun thinks he knows what's best for the colony. Like, okay, he's older, but I've lived here almost half my entire life. Like, who are you gonna trust here? That is a potential storyline that can go. Oops. That is a potential storyline that can go of, rather than, like, here we focus on saving mom and dad and going with the botany, storyline. This music is loud. Like, this particular track is loud. Like, could you not? Where was I? So this, we focus on keeping mom and dad alive. We've tried to focus on keeping people alive. But there is a path of pursuing governorship, whether it's Mars or even yourself, to try to get Lum out of there. Nomi's looking up at the sky with a slight smile. It's been 4 years and it's still so cool, they comment. I spent my whole life on a spaceship before this. Being outside still feels like being in paradise, even with everything going on. Rex claps a hand on his shoulder and looks at you with a serious expression. You gotta take care of yourself, Sabote. Unwind with me a little bit. It's all good over here in Rexland, baby. Alright, now that that one track is done, let's bring music back in line with the others. Be nice if it, like, snapped in. But, close enough. Tammy looks up from her knitting with a smile, but quickly reevaluates her expression. Oh, Sabote! Are you taking care of yourself? Do you need a nap or a snack? What can I do to help? Are they seeing the stress? Are they, you know, is it the evidence of me having been out for a bit? That's two people saying I need to take care of myself. I think I've come to truly love this planet, Tang says, looking up at the sky. Certainly, it's at times uncomfortable or even dangerous, but I have such wonderful visions of what it could become. I'm a little worried about that. Okay, there's basically nothing going on there. And of course, this is gone. So what do we want to do this year? I don't really have a goal in mind right now. And I don't have a quest log or anything. Yeah, I'm really not sure what to do this year. Like, the storyline that we did kind of concluded last year. We found the second person that has visions. We did what? What did we do? Is that something we did last? Do I have bad memory? Or are you reading something else into what's going on? Tammy's sitting in a big chair in the lounge. Echinacea passed out on her chest with her fat little legs and arms splayed in every direction. Tammy looks up at you and gives you a tired smile. I don't know what to do, Sabote. Sometimes it feels like everything's terrible. And I look at her little face and I'm just so sad that this is the world she's going to grow up in. Topical timeline. Sim said there are others that can see the timelines. Oh, you're saying it's Tang? Tammy sighs and strokes her hand through Echinacea's hair. We're supposed to make the world better for our children, but it's all I can do some days to put on a smile for her. I wouldn't know what to do with that with Tang. Our friendship with Tang is at 68. Let's get that up to 70. I think we had it at 70 and then we like flirted and it came back down. So let's do something where we get, let's see, that's +1 friendship with Tang. Is there anything that's +2? Oh, here's what's +2. Tang. Tang's hunched over her workstation. The heels of her hands push against her eyelids. When she raises her head as you approach, she quickly blots the corners of her eyes and sniffles. What is it? Have you heard from Dis? That's true. We could try to find Dis. We could go exploring. You... Oh boy, hold on. You like yellow flowers. Here. Friendship. Also, I've got like 30 of them. I'll take a look at this under a microscope. Hope you find it useful. Alright, cool. And now we have dialogue. Tangent is about to duck back into engineering when you approach. She winces and shields her eye from the sun. She looks at you miserably, and you notice that her right eye is glowing faintly. It's my new hollow eye implant, Tang says. Its ghostly glow snaps in and out of existence as she blinks. I seem to be experiencing some unpleasant side effects from it, similar to that of an ocular migraine. Instance warned me that this level of visual information can be difficult for the human brain to comprehend at first. You agree to follow her into engineering to get out of the sun. It's similar to a holopalm, she explains, still holding her forehead and squinting, but with an infinitely large screen because it projects it directly onto the oculus. It used to belong to Dr. Instance, but she passed it down to me to help with my work. She doesn't like the voice of reason, but she also doesn't like platitudes. And also, like, how permanent is this implant? Can you just take it out? I'll go with what you guys. Okay. I'm sure I'll get used to it soon. I know I will. It's only pain. It's more than an implant, she continues as we follow her to the medbay labs. Hollow eyes are on the very forefront of human augmentation. They represent our next steps towards ascending as a species. She touches the red scar where her holopalm used to be. Oh, so that's a full-on replacement, huh? No more clunky screens, no privacy concerns. Elegant, integrated design. It observes the motion of my hands and uses it to generate an AR interface for my entire field of vision. It's partially powered by my own metabolism, through the magnets embedded in my skull. It's beautiful. Nobody else is here. You hear the gentle hum of experiments running in the corner. This kind of technology is so far beyond what we're capable of reproducing in the colony, she sighs, rubbing her temple under the implant. Once they're gone, they're gone. Maybe Earth will send us a shipment of new ones someday, but I expect that they've developed something more advanced since we left Earth. I suppose it's more likely that they've forgotten about us completely. The quiet hums of the laboratory is shattered by an alarm. Tang jumps at the sudden noise and shuts her eyes tight. I have to get this, she mutters, gesturing at the air to silence the ringing. The simulation I'm running is time-sensitive. The specimens require minute changes to their environment every 2 hours. Temperature, humidity, light levels. If we had better automation, this wouldn't be a problem. Okay, I can help with the migraine, or I could do it. I think she would prefer to do the experiment. Like, she's open to people helping, and I think that she trusts me enough to do that. But she could also, accept help with the migraine so that she can do the thing. So what is it? Biology for I could do it, reasoning, or empathy for helping with the migraine. Either one I think is going to go well. It just, might result in a different card or something. I'm gonna hydrate while you ponder. Need a dice roll. If only I had the Boaterbug die that is visible at that St. Jude link. So that is a digital proof. I should be getting the dice late this month and be able to show them during the main fundraising push. But yeah, just keeping one of those by here would be great. Okay. You are in medbay after all. You rummage around for a bottle of triptans and a cold towel. She grudgingly swallows the migraine medicine and lays down on a medbed with the towel over her eyes. You shake your head. This girl needs to take better care of herself. Wow, ain't that the pot calling the kettle black, huh? As you apply pressure to her temples, she slowly breathes in and out. After a few minutes, the tension in her face eases. I feel less human now, thank you, she says with a small smile. She wobbles over to her experiment, which uses the computer to set the environmental parameters for what seems to be some sort of fungal growth comparison. When she's finished, Tang slumps down on the floor in a corner where it's nice and dark. She folds her arm and lays her head on them. That should buy me 2 more hours. Tang shifts over, wordlessly inviting you to sit down beside her. Her arm is cool to the touch as it rests against yours. I'm guessing flirting goes poorly. She doesn't want that. But I'm gonna look at I kinda wanna look at a guide. Because I'm curious. That's not... That's an AI-generated article. Hooray. It's awful. Ba. Because I'm curious, you know? We can always save and reload if it messes everything up. This is true. Let's pop a save right here. Yeah, I'm going to, without really throwing things, I'm going to say no on that. So, well, yeah, no, we're just, thank you for your assistance, it was nothing, right? Like, of course, this Well, that's interesting. Okay, so I will share this, is that even if you do manage to romance Tang, which is very hard to do, yeah, like I said, we learned our lesson. Even if you do romance Tang, which is hard to do, in the epilogue, you end up breaking up and she gets together with Mars anyway. Like, that is, I think, fated to happen. So, but hey, yeah, whatever. Anyway, it was nothing. She gives you a slight smile, barely visible in the faint glow of her hollow eye. Then, thanks for nothing, I suppose. I think approaching it realistically and not like looking at guide whatever. I think approaching it realistically is that a couple times we made our interest known. If she's interested, she'll say something. Like, to keep pushing like that is just really unhealthy. Please don't tell Instance that my body is adjusting poorly to the hollow eye, she adds. It's only temporary. The stupid flesh prison is not allowed to draw the limits of my form. I was hoping to get a card out of that, but okay. So we can go out looking for Dis. We've seen him a lot in the Resting Ridges. So that's something that we can do. Expeditions. Check in with Chief Rhett. Rhett and Utopia have set up a base camp in the swamps. They're studying their holoscreens intently, like generals in a war room. You suppose, in a way, they are. What do you have to report, Sabote? Oh, okay, so this is checking in with them to advance the storyline for human supremacy on Vertumnan. Okay, so that's what that is. We don't want to do that. Because, again, I don't want a solution where the colony exists at the expense of the planet. Okay. But let's... Oh, actually, we shouldn't go on an expedition right now. Our stress is pretty high. So, do we have something close to leveling up? Organizing. You know what? Let's do a supply depot thing, because that is helpful with organizing. Work construction is engineering and toughness. Engineering's all the way up. Deliver supplies is organizing, perception, Mars, and Rex. So let's do that. Try to get our organizing up there. Although, we get a +1 to physical gains. Maybe we get our toughness up there. What's something that's priority toughness? I assume at the garrison. Bravery, toughness, combat animals, lookout duty is perception animals, and that's relax. Alright, no, so we'll, despite the plus to physical thing, let's try to get our organizing up there. Deliver supplies. You're in geoponics, delivering a load of fertile soil that the surveyors have brought in from outside the wall. It'll go towards restoring the outdoor garden beds for the hardy root vegetables and native plants. Cal greets you and helps guide the hoverlift to the unloading zone. Looks heavy. I can take it from here. I bet I can lift more than you. Kyle looks doubtful. You don't need to. Seriously, don't hurt yourself, Sabote. It's not a competition. Sabote smash. You show those sexy soil who's boss. Yeah, no one's ever lifted anything so well ever. You're the best at lifting heavy things. You flex your big muscles and look over at Cal, hoping he's impressed. Okay, like I said, not everything's a competition, Sabote. Oh, what do you mean mine is friendship? I'm trying. Hey, but +2 toughness anyway. Get to work. Okay. So we'll do the -5 stress, of course. And then, like, really all of these being wild is like, it's fine. Boom. The investigation into the bombing during the Glow attack continues all month. Governor Lum and his goons can't find a way to pin it on any of the Stratos, and over time people come to accept that Dis was probably the culprit. The rumor doesn't make anyone feel better, but it does take the heat off the others, including yourself. As usual for this time of year, your dreams have been more vibrant and invasive. You have trouble distinguishing dream from reality during the day, and you dread falling asleep at night. How did that hot bike get into your bedroom? I forget what this dream did in the past life, but we'll just wake ourselves out of it. You resist the temptation to chase a little hot eye and instead lay back down in bed, telling yourself, wake up, wake up. It works. I've got an achievement on that. Hold on. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, something else happened. Gain status, insomnia. Mental skill increases reduced by 1 for 3 months. Boo! Milky, quiet sunlight pours through your window, flakes of bromide snow piling up against the glass. You feel as tired as when you went to bed. It's your birthday. You're 19 years old, only 1 more year as a teenager. Alright, let's just... I know that Tammy has cake for us, so we'll enjoy some cake with Tammy. Nomi, I bet I have extra cake. You want to share my birthday cake with me? Yay. Just sharing cake. Alright. Relaxing time. Let's relax in the park, get some more training done with our pets. You're doing easy circuits of the flat land just outside the colony with Twilight Sparkle, getting her more used to being under your control while you're riding. She's come a long way since you first captured her, though she's still clearly a wild animal. One of your laps past the gate, you notice Nomi watching you. You slow down and they slowly approach. That's a Unisaur, right? They say, linking their hands behind their back. It's so cool. Like a unicorn, but real. Like a lizard horse. I guess that's why they call it a Unisaur, right? I'm trying to do that, like, hands linked behind the back, but my shoulders don't want me to. Is its skin soft or rough? Is it, like, warm? Does it let you touch its horn? Are you scared of riding it? What if you fall off and it tramples you with its claws? You want to pet her? Do I ever? Twilight Sparkle puts up with both of you petting her. Nomi asks a million more questions, some of which you don't know the answer to yet. You're still learning how to be friends with Twilight Sparkle. Eventually, she gets a little cranky and starts tossing her head and stamping her feet. Oh, whoops. Okay. I know when I wore out my welcome. You're not entirely certain that that's an accurate statement, but maybe Nomi is better with animals than they are with people. Twilight Sparkle still doesn't appreciate you riding on her back, but you've reached a tenuous peace with her. You don't make her go anywhere she doesn't want to go, and she doesn't try to throw you so hard your bones time travel into next week. You still like her to be a little more adventurous with you at the reins, though. There's a couple mushwood logs lying around outside the colony, and you're pretty sure you can convince her to jump them. Okay, Oh no! Okay, no, that way. Boom. And it becomes a 3, and then +1 to that. And then +5 to flushes with this card. Well, I got good news for you. Bleh. Success! You direct Twilight Sparkle towards the mushroom and set off at a fast pace. She balks at first, but after a split second where you're sure you're gonna eat dirt, she bunches up her hindquarters and sails over the obstacle. Your whole skeleton judders when you both hit the ground on the other side, but you're still in the saddle. She turns her head to look at you like, are you kidding me? Twilight Sparkle isn't in the stable when you go to take her on her daily ride. Then you hear a scream from the gardens. You run towards the screaming and find that Twilight Sparkle has cornered Nougat in the gardens and is growling menacingly. Nougat is cowering under a park bench and begs for you to save her. Oh no, Twilight Sparkle must be hungry. You don't want to see her when she's hungry. I think it's the best that we did decide to go with the pre-baked in My Little Pony name for the wild beast. It's been a while since we've seen Nougat. How you doing? Well, okay, how you doing's a bad question right now. You didn't bring any meat to calm her down. You're going to have to rely on your empathetic bond. A harder animals challenge. Okay. +2 if this has the highest value. We can do that. +6 if the card to the left is blue. We can do that. Okay, so that takes away the +6 if it does that. But better we get the +6 than the +2. Yeah, that's a good start. Next, let's do... Oh, neighbors become wild, and that takes the red, so it gets a +1. That's fine. They'll all still get a straight. Yeah, we're good. Make sure we get a -1 stress in there. Or -5 stress. You cautiously approach Twilight Sparkle, hands outstretched. She tosses her head and snorts, but amazingly, she stays still until you're able to get your hands on her head and force her to look into your eyes. +5 for rainbow flushes of 3 or more. Oh no, rainbow flushes. Social, mental, and physical cards together. Interesting. It's a battle of wills. You can sense her wanting to break away, but after a few tense moments, she seems to relax, accepting your show of dominance. She allows you to lead her back to the barn, where you're able to calm her down the rest of the way with a meal. Great work. Absolutely forget that. It was also with anemone. Okay, so we're calmed down now. Let's make sure everyone's good. There's no chatting going on. And then I think we head to the resting ridges and see if we can find Dis. Let's survey the ridge. And all of the events are going to add to things that we are basically already fine on. So we're just going to grab items and book it to the main event. The story boss event here. Nice, so now we can go around. Good. Or no, you guys just kind of spawned over there. Alright, there's that. That's good. Hey, Utopia. She sent a team of geologists to get a closer look at the region's weird terrain. You come across them working and Utopia beckons you over. Sabote, come here. Everyone, Sabote's been working in this area a while. I'm sure he's got plenty of information on what's out here. Alright, this is just a random event. These broken up layers are the same across the planet. Something happened. I guess I will share findings on the crystals is safe. The crystals soak up energy from the sun and transfer it underground. What if it was unleashed suddenly? Utopia Watch has been used as the geologists crunched numbers. It would have been an enormous amount of energy, but if the entire region was one big solar battery, that kind of energy, the energy of 2 suns, could definitely cause earthquakes of the magnitude that could rip apart the land. Okay. Again, I just don't want to help the colony discover the gardeners. Not while the gardeners are also hostile back. I want to negotiate a peace. And I don't know if that's possible. Sim. Sim nods as you approach. Just the human I wanted to see, he says with a solemn smile. The Overseer would like to speak to you again. Sim leads you to the same cave as before. Nothing has changed, and you get the impression that nothing much does change here. You place your hands on the handles of the array and wait. We have thought over our conversation. You feel the Overseer in your mind. We considered that symbiosis may be corrupt and in need of reabsorption, but his affection for your species is genuine. So we have an offer to make you. I'm listening. Humans wield god-like powers, but lack the capacity to understand the consequences of their actions, the Overseer explains. You have no connection to the land you claim, beyond the short, brutal window of your own consciousness. Our offer is this. We will not eradicate your colony. Instead, you will be tended to, just as the gardeners tend to the rest of the planet. You will be given fresh water, clean air, and good soil, and be protected from outside harm. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop where I gotta give something up, where I'm probably gonna be like, yes, please. In exchange, humans will stay within their colony and limit their population growth so as to maintain the balance within the habitat. You will not leave this territory to procure more resources. You will cease all hunting, logging, and expansion outside of your valley. That's an interesting proposition. Coming from an entity that could destroy us, and since I'm not really helping the colony destroy them, probably would destroy us. I'm thinking the first one. What, like a human nature reserve? I can do the, don't you realize I'm just a kid? But I don't think that that's going to be, I don't think that they care. It's like, we clearly hold some influence. And they also think on a larger time scale. If we bring this proposition to the council, Lama's going to be like, they're losing, they're on the back foot. That's why they're trying to sue for peace. So, Shady Cats, you're saying that the first one is a no-go for you? We already know that it wouldn't necessarily work like that. Because the thing is that, like, humans would have to be forced into the reserve. Even if we made that agreement now, in a generation from now, they would decide to expand. Although it depends at how well the gardeners integrate with the civilization, right? Like, if they integrate really well, then it's like, hey, this is us living at peace with nature, and we can expand in a way that's sustainable. That requires a lot of trust in how the gardeners manage the colony. And again, the colony being fine with being managed by the gardeners. I think it's a dicey proposition. I also don't know that this is necessarily making a choice. I think these are conversation paths before getting to a point where we have to make a choice. So I don't think that this is a particularly crucial juncture. So, Shady, you're saying go with the second one? Don't you realize I'm just a kid? Duality with American Manifest Destiny, right? Because, like, Also, like, humans can live with the land. Native Americans did that for millennia. It's the European expansionist mindset. I'm not picking this one. This one, because this sounds a little disbelieving. What, like a human nature preserve? More or less, the Overseer responds. You are a curiosity to us as well as a sentient species. We would like to preserve you without endangering the ecological balance of the planet. Now you will go and convince the others of your species to agree to our compromise. Yeah, I think it's at least worth bringing up and getting that dialogue started. I'll try my best. You say you don't know if there's any way to convince Governor Lum to agree to this. The Overseer seems to accept this. An envoy will visit in glow season to discuss it formally, it replies. To be clear, an armed envoy. We suggest making yourselves look non-threatening by then. Sim embraces you as you remove your hands from the array. Thank you, he murmurs into your hair. I fought hard for them to consider options other than eradication. I'm glad my trust in you was rewarded. Sim's curiosity unlocks Sim on the main menu. Ooh. As Sim leads you back to the surface, you quietly wonder at him. This man, or rather this ancient artificial intelligence resembling a man, has pushed his directives to the limit to help humanity. His interest started with mere curiosity, but over time he's come to love humans and value your survival. Has he made a mistake? Yeah, so when you get that, like, level 3 card of someone, then they'll show up on the main menu when you go back to it. As it starts out, you know, pretty empty. Okay, so that was still very important. But I have no idea who we would talk to about that. Like, I guess I'll just kind of wander around to Command and the Garrison to see if there are choices of things that I can do to, like, talk to people or sabotage our weapons or something like that. You see smoke on the horizon. Concerned it could be the start of a wildfire, you trek over to check it out. When you get to the origin of the smoke, you find something unexpected. Dis looks up at you from his campfire, where he's roasting a small creature on a spit. It hasn't been that long since you last saw him, but he looks more rugged somehow? Completely at ease. He's made a small but tidy camp here. He must have brought a lot with him when he ran away. A lot of this with him when he ran away. He stares at you in silence for a few seconds, as if gauging your intentions before rising to his feet. Hello, Sabote, he says warily. What do you want? So, it's basically assumed that Dis bombed the colony to allow to allow the attackers in. What are you doing out here? Living. For the first time in probably my whole life. Ah, Sobote is here, you hear from behind you, and you turn to find Sim watching you from the cover of the forest. He steps into the glow with a campfire, tall and ethereal in his tattered human clothing. You can tell him the truth now. What's done is done. Has Sabote ever sworn? I'm not sure. Guys, what's going on? Dis takes a deep breath. I'm going to be a gardener, he says without preamble. The same way they can download copies of their brains into physical bodies, they can do it in reverse. They're going to make me part of the array. Being around Sim makes me realize what I'm missing. You know the old Earth fairy tales about changelings, right? Like, I never fit in with the colony, and eventually I realized I never fit in with being human either. Not being afraid of death and pain like everyone else, like every other living being, it changed who I am, what I am. Really interesting that both Tang and Dis reject being human. Like, for Tang, she wants to be transhuman. To use technology to push the human form to points where it's unrecognizable. And for Dis, that means being a gardener, to download your brain into the digital array which is another form of transhumanism. So that's a really interesting thing that links the two of them that I don't think... Definitely Tang doesn't know about this. I should tell you this wasn't my idea. Oh, sorry. I should tell you this wasn't my idea. Sim adds, not this nor the bombing. I am truly sorry for what Dis was made to do to your colony and the tragedy that followed. It should never have been allowed. Nobody made me do it, Dis insists. Noctilucent and the other gardeners made me a deal. Blow up the colony during the next attack and they'd let me become a gardener like them. I thought it was fair. Ugh. I'm not sorry I did it. If you came here to bring me back, forget it. Like Sim said, what's done is done. I'm not going back. My future's with the gardeners. They need me. They want me. I can bring them a human perspective, you know? For all humans suck, we're pretty good at finding new ways of doing things. I can teach them how to change things to make them better. With that, Dis returns to the campfire. Sim nods at you, then joins Dis. Let's talk to Dis first. We've known him longer. Are you here to yell at me? Drag me home and put me on trial? You can't change what I did. Humanity's doomed here. I only made the end come a little quicker. Isn't it better this way? Why are you even bothering to talk to me? Because I'm gonna miss you? I don't know why. It's not like we're friends. We're kind of friends! Sim clears his throat. Well, technically, he says, Dis will become a part of the planet itself, as I am. You are a part of the ecosystem, and therefore, everything you are will be within Dis's domain. And when your physical form fails, and you return all that you took from the planet, we'll be together forever. So there's only one problem. The process hasn't been done in thousands of years. We're going to need some raw materials to repair the interface. Are you kidding me? I've done everything you guys asked me to do, and now I gotta do more? Well, it's better I tell you this now, rather than having you find out mid-upload when your body has already been processed into a liquefied slurry of proteins and waste matter, correct? It is a metamorphosis, little one. It's not pretty. Regardless, we will need 3 convergent domain power sources and 3 crystal clusters. Only then can the process begin. Bro. I got you. Already got him. Oh. This is conversation color. Sim looks surprised. Oh, well, isn't that convenient? And you just carry them around on your person. You nod, and Sim raises his eyebrows, but doesn't comment further. Then I can take you right now. This way, please. You, Dis, and Sim strike camp and head off for the brush, Sim in the lead. You walk about a half hour, until Sim slips between the roots of some great tree and leads you down into one of the gardener's subterranean hideouts. It looks much the same as the Overseer's cave, complete with a glowing vat of mystery goo. Dis looks surprised by the dank, drippy environs. Sim only smiles. What did you expect, he says. Gleaming sterile surfaces, blinding lights, terrifying medical equipment. He gestures at the pool of faintly bioluminescing liquid. We are an all-organic operation, I'm afraid. Shall we begin? Dis has been in these areas before. You shouldn't be surprised. Dis steps forward. I'm ready. What do I do? Sim gestures to the pool. Simply submerge yourself in the gel and breathe normally. It is biocompatible with your respiratory system. Disrobing is not necessary. Your clothing will be liquefied along with your physical form. Dis steps forward, but Sim stops him with a hand on his chest. I must be certain you have given this full consideration before you pass the point of no return. Once you lie down in that pool, your life as an organic being will be over. Dis knocks Sim's hand away. I don't care about that. I'm never going back to being human. I'm ready to shed this stupid body and be what I was meant to be all along. Don't worry, Sim says. The process only takes approximately 3 weeks. He'll be back before you know it. Though you may not recognize him at first, he continues, smiling and tilting his head. His body will be liquefied, and his DNA will be merged with ancient convergent domain DNA, a simulacrum of which will be encoded into the array in order to translate his brain patterns. His consciousness will be run through simulations of tens of thousands of communal memories, and his organic material recycled. In truth, the process is complicated and physically repulsive to watch. Thankfully, he will sleep through it. Well, not sleep exactly, more of a... Well, the point is you will see him again, just not in this form. Bye, Dis. Aww. Dis looks at the glowing vat, then looks over his shoulder to regard you with his own human eyes one last time. Well, thanks for everything, I guess. I'm not gonna miss this shit. He descends into the vat without hesitation. You watch his image refract through the glowing goo, his determined expression faltering for a moment as it fills his lungs. His last breath bubbles up to slowly pop on the surface of the pool. A peaceful look descends upon him, and he mouths something you cannot decipher as his eyes slide shut. What now? Oh, nothing, Sim replies, staring into the pool with a pleasant expression. He turns to you and clasps your hand in his, looking down on you with a fond smile. Unless you would like to undergo the metamorphosis as well. It would be an honor to assimilate your consciousness into mine, my love. Yo, let's save and unlock another ending. Because I also want to see what this nature preserve idea turns out to be. What's it like? Sim shrugs. Well, it's like having your brain liquefied and digitally slurped into a computer, I suppose, he replies. But it doesn't hurt if that's what you mean. His smile drops and he gives you a long look. Your perspective will change if you become a gardener. Some of what makes up your consciousness, the chemicals and hormones in your brain, will be different. And then different again should you choose to take physical form. Your memories will still be there, but some of the emotions associated with them might be lost. For some gardeners, it can be hard to separate your personal identity from that of the planet. You'll feel a strong drive to nurture and protect the ecosystem at all costs. In fact, you may not have a personal identity for some time. Gardeners prioritize the whole of creation over a single organic creature, an amoral worldview that I have learned causes a great deal of internal struggle in humans. Don't do this unless you're sure it's what you want. Dis was sure. Let's do it. We saved. I'm ready to become a gardener. He nods and takes your hand, helping you descend into the pool. Sweet dreams, little human, he says. It has been the greatest privilege of all my many days to bring you to this point. You sink into the goo, its cold grasp closing over your eyes and nose. Remembering Sim's instructions, you steel yourself and take a deep breath. The cold seeps through your chest, thick and clinging, but you feel no pain. It feels like falling asleep, which is to say, it feels like nothing at all. You're aware of being awake, and then you're not. Conscious thought slips away from you like a lost balloon disappearing into the sky. You do not observe its passing. Transformation. Get the Join the Gardeners ending. When you return to yourself, you're different. You're not quite yourself anymore, but the prospect isn't frightening. You can't even remember why you'd ever want to be a human. Instead of having just one body, you could be a manticore one day and a sapling the next, though you're only truly you in pure data form, existing in the array without mass or physical needs. In the array, you exist at the speed of thought. It's a freedom you never could have understood as a mortal. Sorry. You experiment with melding your consciousness with Sim, which is intimate in a way you couldn't have possibly dreamed. You explore every second of his 20,000 years of existence, savoring his memories as if they were your own. He does the same to you, reveling in the unique flavor of your humanity. Without intending to, you soon lose touch with the colony and forget your humanity. Something about the way time passes so quickly for humans make their lives seem less significant. Sim brings you news of deaths and births, but in the grand scheme of the ecosystem, what difference does a single life make? You eventually find yourself drawn to the northern wastes, far beyond the prosaic plains, where you take on the reintroduction of several species of long-extinct beetles as a personal project. You spend nearly 50 years nurturing them back into the garden before you remember to check on the colony. By then, the humans have dwindled down to only a few, purposefully kept alive as a curiosity. You link with the gardener responsible for their care and understand, in the fraction of a second, everything you could possibly wish to know about them. Noctilucent and the other exterminators have done their job well, thanks to the knowledge you and Dis provided during your metamorphosis. Any plans they had for combating the gardeners were quickly stomped out. Something foreign twinges inside you. Something you haven't felt in a long time. You feel a vague yearning to be with these people again, a desire to experience even a fragment of the urgency they feel in their short, busy lives. But you have important work to do with the beetles. In the moment of your death, as your brain cells fizzle out one by one and shut down forever, a vision swims in your mind's eye. I think it says that with every ending, even though that doesn't really make sense with this one. Is that a person? They seem so familiar. You feel like you know them so well. Oh, it's you, only ancient. His arms are covered with so many data bands, so many lifetimes of knowledge. He speaks without moving his mouth, not in words, but in something like pictures. Still, you understand. Oh, it's coming back to me now, he says. Our life as a gardener. So many memories. If I were a computer, my hard drive would be filled with just those. It's a good thing I'm not a computer. And neither are you, of course. Welcome back. Did you think we could break this loop so easily? I could have done better. I can tell from the weight of your soul, he says sadly, that many of your friends and family died before their time. People who might not have, perhaps, if you'd made different choices. It's natural in grief to wish you could have done something different, to have saved someone. But we're special, aren't we? We really can save them. Come with me. Go with them. And credits! Join the gardeners. We're collecting our endings, alright. Alright, so let's load that. BWB before gardener. Load. So, we're gonna get up to that point again. Try to remember to do all of the same choices. Talk to Dis first. Gonna miss you. Already got them. Oh, excuse me. Goodbye, Dis. By the way, every time that song comes up, at first it was listening to it with Dis, and now it's been towards some of these, like, endgame type things. It gets flagged for copyright on YouTube. It's a good thing I'm not monetized, right? What's it like? And this time we'll say, that's okay. I like my body. What a coincidence. I like your body as well. Sim, you dog. That is quite all right, he says, clapping you on the back. It is not for everyone. Besides, I'm sure you have very important work to do among the humans. Sim steps away from the pool. As for myself, I believe I will keep this form a while longer. There are some benefits to it, particularly while the humans wage war on the planet. He laughs, shaking his head. When this is all over, I think I will spend some time as a lichen, he murmurs to himself as he wanders out of the cave. It will be a pleasing change of pace. You're back in the Wormhole Observatory just to poke around. Who knows what you might find? Explore at random. You bravely try all the elevators. Some are broken. One gets stuck for an hour and you think you're going to die in there, then it chugs to life. Then you find the orrery. Interesting that there were 2 boss events here. It's a beautiful room under one of the smaller pyramids. The light from your holopalm glitters off the crystals in rainbow colors, dotting the walls and ceilings in familiar constellations. There's one huge crystal plate embedded in the wall, engraved with deep glyphs. Convergent domain writing, you guessed, and some kind of map? In the center is clearly a representation of the wormhole. Lines extend from the wormhole to other points on the map, and many more glyphs you can't read. The crystal's cut up into shards like it could move around, but it's still in dark and probably has been for thousands of years. You run your hands around the panel, looking for a way to turn it on. Your hands encounter a slot. You rummage in your bags for... Aha, yes! The device you picked up in the monitoring station with this. It's a perfect match. You slot the glowing pick device into the slot. The crystal panes on the wall come to life, the glyphs on them glowing. They start to move in an unnervingly organic way, like melting into water and sliding over the surface, rearranging themselves. It's not just writing, the very surface of the panel raises and lowers like braille. The glyphs pulse and glow in the same swirly purple pink as the glowing device, which you realize must be a power source. A convergent domain battery. It's like an orrery for the wormhole. This must be one of the best preserved bits of convergent domain technology you've found yet, and an exciting sample of their writing. It's wild to think that the gardeners are another piece of old tech, just like this place. You're starting to piece together the glyphs of the convergent language. You recognize the symbols for Vertumnan, the wormhole, and converger, in basic verbs like being and going, and ones that seem to mean bending or twisting that's used all over the place. It starts to get easier. You think your brief connection to the array must have left some of the converger's language in your subconscious. Engineering and kudos. It's all so much to take in, but it's getting late. Better bring all your recordings back and let Congruence and the rest of the archaeology team crunch away at it for a bit. They'll be thrilled. Alright, and that's it for that. So let's head home and see what we can do about opening up a peace dialogue. You can't tell your dad that you're dating an alien, even though you really want to. You think he'd be surprised but supportive, just like he always is. He just wants you to be happy. Sim makes you happy, even when things are messed up right now. That's true. Like, at this point, I think we're full on in our relationship with Sim. So, flirting with someone else is also a little counterproductive, perhaps. Mars, can you help me? Alright, is there anything here in command? Bring the Overseer's deal to Governor Lum. Okay. Well, that's gonna go poorly. But let's just check that everyone is good here first. What if he just throws me in jail and then I die in the next attack? Excuse me. Governor Lum is staring into space but snaps out of it as you enter the room. What is it, colonists? I'll tell him about the Overseer's offer. If I mention the cloning facility, he's just going to want to bomb it. He crosses his arms. Normally I'd play dumb and tell you that these talking aliens don't exist, but you already know too much. Oh, hold on, Lum. Normally I'd play dumb and tell you these talking aliens don't exist, but you already know too much. We don't need their deal, he growls. And if I find out you've been playing secret agent, I'll put your head on a spike. Don't test me, Sabote. We'll have to find a way to destroy them. They're more dangerous than you think. Never doubt humanity's strength, Sabote. It's a good thing I'm the governor of this colony, not some coward like one of you. That I'm the governor of this colony. Oh, for fuck's sake, I hate this fucking track. Fuck off. No. Never doubt humanity's strength, Sabote, he grins coldly. It's a good thing I'm the governor of this colony and not some coward like one of you Stratos. He dismisses you, but he might have a point. Deposing him as governor would solve a lot of problems. You know Mars would be on board. But I don't think... Yeah, but I don't think that I have all the stuff needed to do that. Among other things, I probably need to be friends with Mars. Which, we're not. Also, is there just a next track button? That would be nice. Yeah. So that, unfortunately, goes nowhere. If I had high organizing and I worked in the depot a lot... Or no, it's not even organizing. It's, Tell me about working at the depot. That's amazing. Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't have what's needed to... Hold on, what were the requirements? Tell me about working at the depot. I need friendship with Mars or rebellion less than 20. Okay. So next time that I play, I think I might try to focus in on that. That didn't work. Do we go out exploring again? That's gonna do that. Like the thing of like bombing the thing. Yeah. Since I don't have enough friendship with Mars, I don't think that I can depose Lum. So I need to figure out another way to do this. Tell Tang about this. Oh, good call. No. Have you heard from Dis? And I can't tell her. Why? No, I want to though. I can like give her another gift. Ugh. God. Hold on. What do we know what you like? You like crystal clusters. That makes a lot of sense. Here. Cool. What's my friendship with you now? It's only at 8 now, right? Yeah. If I gave that to you on your birthday, then it would get us all the way up. Again, so that's a mechanic that I really haven't been doing much, but like I'm collecting so much stuff, I just gotta go around and like give it to people. What? Let's do delivering supplies again and see if there's another story depot thing. Mars calls this meeting of the SFC to order with grim expression. I cannot just stand by while Governor Lum ruins everything we built here, she says, clenching her fist on the table. He might know how to hold a gun, but he doesn't know how to lead a colony. From now on, this club is going to focus on getting Governor Lum out of power and getting someone competent in. We have from now till Vertumnan to somehow convince the other council members that he's got to go. Hell yes! I agree, Cal says, and everyone turns at him in surprise. What? Lum's a jerk. All he cares about is killing animals. It's better for the whole planet if he's gone. Mars steeples her fingers. But the question is, who should we get to replace him? Obviously, I think I'm a great candidate, but I'm willing to consider other options. So, rebellion of 70 or greater and persuasion of 50 or greater gets this option, but it should be Mars. Cal looks worried. No offense, Mars, but are you really going to stop the soldiers from killing the animals? Look, Cal, Mars said, spreading her hands wide. I don't want hunters going out and not coming back either. Maybe we find a safer, more efficient way to deal with the animals, yeah? Sounds ominous. Cal doesn't look convinced. Nomi exchanges a look with Rex and clears her throat. We support you, Mars. We think you'll be a great governor. But... Nomi continues, tracing their finger idly on the tabletop. You're going to keep us so the colony's fair and everyone has what they need, right? I like that we don't have to compete for stuff and everyone gets the same treatment. Mars considers this. Well... I mean, I do like to have nice stuff, but that's not a crime. Everyone else makes awkward eye contact and doesn't respond. Mars would probably stuff you in the recycler herself if she thought it'd pay out a new dress. Mars gathers everyone close. So the plan is, we campaign in all the departments. Geoponics, engineering, the garrison, the quarters, exploration, and here in command. Try to soften up all 6 council members and get them on our side. Try to keep this on the down low. Then at the next Vertumnan festival, we surprise the governor with a spontaneous council vote and replace him. He'll never see it coming. Oh my god, yes. Getting Chief Administrator Seek alone is fairly easy. No one wants to spend time around them if they don't have to. You explain that you're intending to hijack the elections at Vertumnan in order to depose Governor Lum. The more you speak, the more it's clear that Seek is already on board. Finally, they say, rubbing their hands together with a look of unbridled glee. I was waiting for everyone to realize what an imbecile he is. The man barely knows how to read. So we can count on your vote? It depends. You're not the only person with ideas around here. I was planning on making a go at governor myself. They extend their hands to you, rubbing 2 fingers together. Unless you can provide significant motivation to throw myself behind your cause instead. You're asking me for a fucking bribe? Former Governor Udicott pops her frail head out from behind one of the high-back command chairs. Obsequious, she snaps. Are you seriously intending to distort these young revolutionaries out of their candy money? Shame on you. She twists and turns back to her work. Almighty, what would happen to all of you without me keeping everyone honest? 89 years old and I'm still steering this ship. Seek has the decency to look ashamed. They sigh and drop their hand. Thanks, Udicott. Yay, I'm glad we saved the governor. Oh my god, this might actually... Oh my god, this could work. Well, for whom do you intend for me to cast my vote, It better be good. If you don't get majority support, Lum will come down hard on those of us who showed disloyalty. He may be an idiot, but he's an idiot in power. Mars. Marzipan? Well, I suppose she's a rather cunning politician considering her age. Her materialism is a concern. Very well. I'll support her when the time comes. Though we will have to see what the rest of the council thinks, won't we? Okay. Oh! Okay, we have until Vertumnan, and in order to trigger these, we need to do a job in each area. Okay, right. It isn't like free time. The campaigning takes time. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Oh, organizing is almost there. Interesting that we go from, like, really not friends with Mars and, like, now we've done things that increase our friendship with her. And probably getting her elected would do so as well. Okay, next up, I'm talking to Mom. We're going to geoponics. So this, I think we have 3 more months to go. Let me make sure that I'm doing this right. Save, just BWB. Because I don't want to do something and have it not count towards campaigning. Our xenobotany is super high. This is animals and empathy. Our empathy isn't maxed. Xenobotany, biology, and organizing. Actually, maybe we do this just to get the organizing perk up. You find some time alone with the chief cultivator to talk about your plan to peacefully depose Lum. Talk to your mom about it. Your mom is a busy woman, probably the busiest in the colony, honestly, so you keep it brief. You explain the details of Mars's plan. Depose Lum, get voted in, save the colony, and maybe the planet. I hate this bureaucracy stuff, she says when you're done. Say what you want about the new guy, at least he doesn't waste my time with pointless meetings. This isn't a pointless meeting. No, you're right, this is important stuff. You're right to care about it. She leans back in her chair and puts her feet on her desk, linking her hands over her stomach. It's just, you're so young, you and Marzipan. Do you really think either of you could lead the entire colony? This isn't some hobby farm or secret club. This is the fate of human civilization on a hostile planet. Are either of you really prepared for the tough decisions you'll have to make as governor? Persuasion challenge. Alright. 7, 7. I mean, we have a bunch of wilds, but we could potentially save them for another... We've got 4, 4, 4. Plus 1 for gem on other cards. Mother... About 3, 4, 5. 3. Cool. 4, 5, 6? Where the hell? I can't get a straight. Like, I want to match 3 of a kind or get a straight. Maybe I'll just do this flush. Oh, that's so bad, though. It's fine. We got 2 more rounds to make it up. Cool. 3 5s. And then let's just huck that in there. Good. And then look at all those wilds. Look at all those wilds. Yeah, that'll do. Your mom smiles, one you haven't seen in some time. Look at you, all grown up and overthrowing the government just like your old lady. It'd be hypocritical of me to tell you you're too young, she continues and pats her leg. I was about your age when I lost this, fighting on Earth for what I believed in. I didn't listen to my elders either. If I hadn't done the same thing you're doing right now, probably wouldn't have had a place on the strata with your father. Wouldn't have had you. So who knows what you're capable of and where it'll take you. If you truly believe you're ready, you have my support. Cool, 2 down. Oh, so that challenge was the thing that we did this. Alright, cool. Organizing's still not up there. Dang it. Alright, next to engineering. I know that we've got something that we can do with organizing. We're on a mission. Oh my god. This... Like, the math works out in our favor for a number of months that we have. There are 6 council positions, and we will have visited 4 council members by that time. Which one adds to engineering? Biology and empathy. Engineering creativity. Reasoning and empathy. Creativity persuasion. Engineering reasoning. Biology reasoning. Oh, none of those add to organizing. Dang it. Butter giddy as the plane comes together. Listen, I've been getting my ass kicked in chess for the last week because I discovered that AJ likes playing chess and he's better than me at it. So to have something where it like is actually going to work is very exciting to me, where I can like actually come out on top, even if it is just a video game where I can like save and reload and whatever. Shut up. Okay. Are any of these close to going up? I could do. It's been a long time since I've done tutoring. Actually, I think just for like story purposes, that would be a nice thing to do. And obviously we're gonna be meeting with I think it'd be Hal. I forget if it's Hal or Instance. Creativity, persuasion. Persuasion's real low. Do you want to beat me at chess? Yeah, I'm using chess.com. Engineering, reasoning. Biology, reasoning. Let's do tutoring. Yeah, like at one point I challenged him and it was like, hey, you've lost like 4 out of 5 games against him. Do you want to propose a balanced match where he starts with fewer pieces? I'm like, no! After work, you ask Chief Engineer Instance for a few minutes of her time. She allows you into her office and begrudgingly listens as you explain that you and Mars intend to hijack the elections at the next Vertumnalia. When you're finished, she heaves a long-suffering sigh and pinches the bridge of her nose in her fingers. Why in the world would I support this plan, she says. We're barely surviving as it is. Lum is right. The planet's at war with us. Every year we come closer and closer to total annihilation. Is this really the time for dissent? Instance gestures to her office. Every horizontal surface is covered with experiments. He may not be the most suited to the job, but do you see anyone else with the time on their hands to run a colony? The idiot does the least damage where he is, doing busy work and making stupid motivational videos. What if I can persuade you? I'm gonna do this challenge. It's a hard persuasion challenge. And let's just ditch one of these little ones, because this doesn't get the +6, so we're gonna need it to get that. Okay, so +6 if this is the highest value, so boom. I think that wipes out that. It sure does, so we're gonna keep that off the table. This is a tie for highest value. 5, 5, and +1 to the card to the right. No, we'll do that. Next. +6 if the card to the left is blue. We can do that. +10 stress. Don't want to do that. Because, oh, that's the other thing. Obviously, our stress is great. But it's harder for others to cheat in one minute. No, I don't do that. It's like we're playing just like over time. Let's see. Oh, I really don't need the Ricky in there. Oh, but the +1 to bonus is fine. Anyway, what was I? +1. That's fine. Oh. Oh no, that one does need to be that. So boom, boom. And then we're just gonna throw big numbers. There we go. Big numbers win. Instance hasn't survived this long under a hostile regime by being soft. It's hard to convince her that you have a chance to oust Lum, but she does like to win. She appreciates a good game of 8-dimensional political chess. If you win the election, and you convince her you will, she'll be free. Well, she says, sitting back in her chair, seems that you might actually be cut out for our next governor. You have my support. When you strike, strike to kill. If Lum knows I'm moving against him, he'll put me on the wall. Actually, I want you to vote for Marzipan. Instance stares at you for a long time, as if sizing up your mettle. Calculations go on behind her eyes that you can barely hope to understand. Good, she says finally. Tell her she can count on me. Cool. Next up, if we go to the garrison, it's Chief Rhett, and we know that he doesn't like Lum. I feel like that would be an easy way to do it, and plus, if we do that, he can get, I mean, it sucks to think of it this way, but he can get some armed people on his side. Expeditions would be nice. with Utopia, but I think with Ret is the way to go. Okay. Perception animals, both max. Defense training, combat animals. Combat isn't maxed, but it has that stuff. This is bravery and toughness. Then we'll do this. You meet with Security Chief Ret, knowing he'll be a tough sell in this whole political coup business. He sits behind his desk, hands clasped, listening intently as you explain how you and Mars plan to depose Lum during the next Vertumnalia festival. When you're done, he shakes his hand and sits back. You're not an idiot, Salvote. You know what you're asking me to do. Having the garrison on your side would make this a military coup. If you learned Earth history, you know those aren't a good look. Why should I support you? Yeah. Mars is the future of this colony. You're a regular little politician on the campaign trail, aren't you? You got a lot of guts asking me to remove a professional soldier from leadership during a time of war to replace him with a child. Why the hell shouldn't I tell Governor Lum right now that there's a mutiny underfoot? What could I say to convince you? Okay, there's so much here. Bam, look at that. Alright, cool. Next, let's just chuck some blues at this. +2 to cards with gems. Well, that's both of these guys. And +1 for gems on other cards. Okay, now. Yeah, no. Here we go. You manage, somehow, to convince Security Chief Ret that it is morally imperative that he support your movement to depose Lum. You both know that Lum is dangerously inept, so it's really just a matter of assuring him that you'll do a better job and that you'll protect him from reprisal if you fail. You've won his vote against all odds. It's like, I don't want you to show up with the military. Right, but I want you to show that the defense is sick of being ordered to their deaths by him. Governor Lum enters the colony square to his customary bombastic fanfare. Brass band, red carpet, banners with the Heliopause logo snapping in the hot dust breeze. It's a bit much. The governor gets his usual tithe of applause from die-hard soldiers, but it's obvious how tired and fearful everyone has become in service to his war. You catch Mars's eye and she nods in solidarity. You planned this for so long and now is your chance to strike, while everyone is watching. If you can get the entire council to speak out against Lum today, maybe the rest of the colony is ready for a change. Anyone is better than Lum, even a teenager. Wait, the entire council? Shit, I was just going majority. The governor raises his hands for silence, though it's largely unnecessary. Did I not start this soon enough? Pioneers of Vertumnan, he begins. We stand here today not shivering and quaking in fear, but with our hands around the neck of the planet herself. Before he can continue, Mars leaps from her seat and runs to the front of the stage. A ripple of fear goes through the crowd. You all remember what happened to Utopia last year. It doesn't have to be like this, she cries, speaking to the crowd. We don't have to listen to him. He's just a bully with a gun like the ones we left behind on Earth. You put yourself between her and Lum's honor guard. She flashes you a giddy, grateful smile and turns back to the crowd. She points to the governor. This man has made you think that the only way to survive is through violence. He's just a soldier and not even a good one. Violence only makes small, weak men feel powerful. She turns to the council. He's not powerful. We're powerful. We broke free of Earth. We broke free of war and bigotry and inequality. And we can break free of him too. Please, stand with me. Reject Lum and bring in the new era. A colony led by someone born among the stars. She holds her hand to the chest. Me. I can lead this colony. Governor Mars is the future. An extra council vote. The buzz of the crowd is deafening, like a swarm of bugs all chirping together. Some of the council members are nodding, but it isn't unanimous. This is bullshit. 2 children saying they can lead the colony? What's their first order of business? Taco Tuesday? Soy sweets for dinner? He waves his hand dismissively. Have your stupid vote. We'll let the council decide. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see his guards with their weapons lowered, just waiting. Some of them look as interested in the change of leadership as you are. If you have the council behind you, even Lum's supporters in the military could fall into line. You might just win. I wonder if... Okay. I wonder if it mattered which council votes we went after. Like, we went after some of the easy ones. Like, if we went after some of the easy ones. But I think we can get Utopia with us, no problem. And then, I don't even know who, like in the Hab area, if it's antecedent, I think that's no problem as well. Let the council vote. The council stands to deliberate amongst themselves, and one other person too, Utica. The former governor is unsteady on her feet. She looks at you and Mars, then nods. You see her exchanging words with the council. Yes! Okay, I think that's our 6th vote. Because we needed 6, right? We got 4 of them, then there was 1 when we gave the speech, and Utica gets us our 6th. The council deliberates. You and Mars clasp hands and tensely await their decision. Tensely await their decision. The council shuffles off to the side and deliberates. To your relief, they come to a decision quickly. They must all be unanimous, or the centrists of the colony won't rise against Lum. After a minute, Instance looks up in the group and shouts, "Someone get that man off stage!" Lum starts to laugh, but stops when he realizes that his own honor guard is coming up to the stage to cart him away. "Well, wait!" he says as his arms are being held behind his back and he's taken off stage. "You can't do this! I'm the governor! I'm the leader of this godforsaken colony!" You search the crowd for any hint of dissent. The soldiers are uneasy, but everyone else just looks tired and relieved. You can't believe that all it took was a few kids to point out the obvious. The council returns to their positions and Instance remains standing. "We've decided to reward these young patriots for their bravery by accepting their bid for leadership," she says to the crowd. "On a trial basis," she gives you a meaningful look, "we're pleased to recognize our new governor, Marzipan." It's a coup. Replace Governor Lum. Mars shrieks and jumps up and down, then gives you a big hug. "We did it! We really did it! Thank you, Sabote!" Really? Just +2 friendship for that? Come on, Mars. Mars releases you and waves to the crowd as they cheer her name. She looks overwhelmed but bursting with happiness. Seek shuffles forward and directs Mars to place her hand on her chest and repeat after them. Mars swears on her honor to act in the best interests of the colony and to uphold the tenets of the Vertumnan group. Peace, understanding, and harmony with the planet and each other. Not just for herself, but for generations to come after her. It's official now. Lum is old news. You won. The two factions of the colony regard each other carefully. On one side, those who went along with Lum out of fear, either of him or of Vertumnan, are cautious, unsure of what to do now that their leader's been deposed. On the other, the peaceful faction can't quite believe their nightmare is over. Mars sees this and directs Lum's military band to start playing something festive. "I know we've been through a lot, but we've been through worse," she says. "Tonight, let's just enjoy being together again. Let's eat, dance, and celebrate." After the politicking is over, the crowd adjourns to the feast tables and eventually to the dance floor. The sun set on the long day. The heat breaks, and the party continues well into the night. After the festivities, Mars gives everyone 2 whole weeks off for a much-needed rest. She spends the time meeting with every colonist individually, and it does a lot to endear her to the people who are still hesitant about having a teenager as governor. She's older than me, right? She's... Okay, nope, she's 19. Oh my god. Okay, we are not out of the woods yet, but oh man, do I feel so good about that. Let's check in with everyone. Dad's reading. Hey, little gooseberry. Cool. Our organizing is now 80 or more. Tell her what we learned today. -1 to physical cards. Pest control. You tell her about the bedbug infestation you've been helping Mars with. On the down low, because Mars doesn't want anyone to know she has bugs. On Vertumnan, bedbugs are as large as your toe and it can burp up acid. It sucks. You had to pull out everything from her room and take it to laundry or incineration. Then get in there and scrub down every corner of her room while Mars squealed every time she saw a bug. I'm assuming that this is supposed to be a thing that pops before she's governor. It was a whole day clean, but by the end Mars's room was sparkling and everything was put back better than it had been before. Yeah, +2 organizing. Extra card draw perk. Draw an extra card at the start of a challenge. I remember Budbugs back on Earth. Never thought I'd miss them. Vertumnan has it way worse. Okay. Cal, do you have anything to say here? No. Well, you would think people would have a lot to talk about with the new governor. You get a summons to report to command, to Mars's new office. Damn, girl, I'm sure that looks awesome, not cropped to ultra-wide. You find her reclining in the captain's seat, formerly Governor Lum's chair, idly flipping through notes on her holopalm. She waves away the holoscreen and leans back to consider you. Sabote, just the rebel I wanted to see. But first, you're not going to lead a mutiny against me now, are you? I'm not even going to joke. Just, of course not. She stands to press kisses to each of your cheeks. That's exactly what I'd say in your position. She turns and looks out the windows overlooking the colony. Actually, I called you here because I haven't had a moment to myself since Vertumnan. We know Lum was a real piece of work, but every day I seem to uncover yet another problem he was just letting fester. And the department heads, half of them treat me like an interim governor, good enough to oust Lum, but not enough to stick around and do the actual work of governing the colony. Hey, we'll do what we can in the time we have. Oh no! I guess you're right. It's the way this colony operates. Just survive until the food runs out. The rude funds out. Or until the animals finally destroy the colony. Just survive till we can vote out Mars. I don't want my time as governor to just be about survival. She gestures you to come look out the windows at the bustle of the colony below. I just wanted to say thank you for everything you did to get me here, she says seriously. Far below, you watch a team gearing up to head out on an expedition. There's construction happening on the next phase of residential units. A group of toddlers, the first children born on Vertumnan, cross the colony square like a herd of hawkeye. Everywhere you see the bustle of a thriving, healthy colony. It's all mine now, she says. Instead of sounding boastful, she seems almost scared of the prospect. She takes your hand without turning to look at you, her eyes still trained on her kingdom. Can I trust you to help me? I need people around me who believe in me, but will still tell me if I'm making the wrong choice. You can count on me. Thank you, Sabote. I'm glad I have you. Yeah, us with our 11 friendship. Friends in high places. Damn. You and Mars watch the colony a little while longer until Mars' holopalm buzzes and she sighs. Well, duty calls, she says. Sorry, Reggie, we learned our lesson, no flirting with Mars. Thank you again for all your help, she adds as you excuse yourself. You'll always have a friend in high places. Can I... Gallery. Governor Mars. There we go, that's the full art. That's for Riggy. That's for you, Riggy. There you go. Ooh, more talkies. Sabote! Mars calls out to you sweetly. You know immediately she wants something from you. I'm so swamped with work lately, she simpers, batting her eyes. She's really laying it on thick. I have so many memos to draft and speeches to write. And I'm a very busy woman. Would you be a doll and help me out? Before you're able to respond, she pats your cheek fondly. I knew I could count on you, Sabote. I need a right hand, and it just has to be you. Besides, who else can I trust to know that I take my blep tea with extra sugar bug syrup? Administration in command. Probably not a bad call. Okay. But we'll have to talk to her about the Overseer's proposal. It's nice to sit and take a break. Unfortunately, that's not letting her know about this. This didn't swear us to secrecy, so it kind of hurts to be like, eh. Do you have anything to say about this? Nope. Cool. Let's see if we can talk to Governor Mars. Bring the Overseer's deal to Mars. Mars Wavesware reports, Hey Sabote, what's up? Needing something from Governor Mars? You sure hope this goes better than when you tried to talk to Lum. I'm going to start by telling her about Sim. You tell Mars about meeting Sim, a gardener, member of a real, actual sentient race sharing the planet with humans. After a second, though, you get the impression that Mars isn't surprised at all. You trail off and Mars smiles. Uh-huh, we know. Well, don't look so surprised. You think the council thought the animals were coming to us every glow because we smell bad? She giggles at your stunned face. Sorry I couldn't tell you. Top secret colony business. But to be fair, you didn't tell me when you were meeting an alien in secret this whole time. But are you saying you're actually friends with one of these aliens? Honestly, we don't know anything about them except that they have to exist. Otherwise, we wouldn't be getting attacked every year. What are they like? Tell me everything. Tell her about the Overseer's offer. She listens intently as he outlined the Overseer's deal. She rubs her forehead. This is huge, Sobote. Might be the only chance for peace with these gardeners that we'll ever have, but how am I supposed to convince people to surrender to something we don't even fully understand? If we can't go anywhere except this valley, how are we going to grow as a people? In a few generations, our technology is going to break down. We'll be scratching in the dirt like animals. I think we're going to pursue this, and that's why, like, that's kind of the driving plot of this year, was that we found out about this deal. And, well, Lum won't take it, so we got to get Mars elected. And, like, I'm not going to tell her, oh, I got you elected just so you'll do this, but sure, I can save. I'll just do this as a BWB save, though. But, like, the live with the planet, everything like that. Oh, we'll be scratching in the dirt. The gardeners will take care of us. We won't just be scrabbling in the dirt. If we need to have, like, a minimum viable population, they'll make sure that we don't drop under that. And eventually, if it's determined that we can expand without being harmful to the planet, we'll be able to. We'll come up with a new way of life. Mars sighs and is silent for a long time. You said they'll send someone to negotiate with it during Glow? I guess we'll be ready. Thanks, Sobote. Alright, yeah, so we're going to be ready for that envoy, but it won't happen until Glow. We now have a few months to waste until then. So let's help out in admin. Let's help out in administration. Assist the governor. What is this? Persuasion, organizing. Oh, persuasion could get up there. Friendship with Mars, kudos, stress. Let's do this. One of your first tasks as an administrator is to format the monthly report to Earth. It's full of boring, carefully formatted data. Seek is very specific about it, and it makes you redo it 3 times till you get it right. You drop off the report at the comms desk and realize that you've yet to be told how to process any reply from Earth. You wonder if they reply at all. I mean, I could just ask Mars, but let's get a card out of it. Investigate. A little bit of rebellion. You sneakily read through the administrative holonet files you're allowed to access now. There's a huge backlog of messages, all dating from during the 20 years the Stratospheric was in space. You scroll through the preview text quickly, not wanting to draw too much attention to yourself. The majority of these messages are updates to from the colony's allies in the Vertumnan group, but every so often there's a message ordering the ship to cease and return to Earth, putting an end to their illegal emigration and return their stolen property. If the Vertumnan group weren't outlaws on Earth before, stealing Congress and the gene tech definitely did the trick. These messages are angry. There are no messages from any time after the Stratospheric landed on Vertumnan. Maybe nothing can get through the wormhole. Maybe the communications system was damaged, and it wasn't until the heliopause landed that communications could be restored. Or maybe both planets are just shouting into the void. It's impossible to say. Damn. 12. Boop boops. You know what? We're just gonna go full on. There we go. Okay, that was really good for persuasion. Overkill. Yeah, I mean, that's what you gotta do. We'll do another look around, but then maybe another administration just to see if we can get persuasion up there. I'm like, oh, maybe for a second I was like, oh, maybe we head back out so that we can tell Sim that Oh, you know, it would be helpful. I'm sure they can observe us, but I think if we go out one more time, maybe we just explore nearby, and then I can tell Sim, like, look, we got a new governor. Everything's going good. But let's try to get our persuasion up first. You kind of expected Mars would go a little easier on you, seeing as you helped her become governor and all. Unfortunately, she's come to see you as the only person she can trust to do a good job, because she saddles you with a lot of work as her assistant. The fact that she likes to make you sweat probably helps. Mars kept Lum around as her personal social media manager, so at least that's one job you don't have to do. He's not bad at it, since being charismatic is basically his only skill, and besides, Chief Rat won't let him anywhere near the garrison. So he's not just locked up, but I guess everyone's got to be a protective member out in the frontier. Your job mostly consists of managing Mars's packed schedule. She became governor by essentially promising everyone on the council that she'd listen to their concerns, and her promises are coming home to roost. Ugh, it sucks to be popular, Mars sighs, scrolling through her calendar. My schedule overfloweth, you dealeth witheth. Yes, my queen. Have some self-respect. That doesn't solve the problems of how to manage all the scheduling conflicts, though. How are we gonna... Wait, this is totally an assistant's job. Let me know when you figure it out. You can feel Seek staring daggers at you from nearby, disappointed that they weren't trusted with this menial task. Work hard or hardly work? Yeah, no, we'll do this. You wisely combine several meetings with similar topics, avoiding people who you know will argue with each other. You cancel a few other meetings, starting hollow messages and copying Mars into the thread. You remember to give Mars a few hours midweek as her spa time. If there's one thing Mars learned from Lum, it's that image matters. A governor with frizzy hair and dry skin won't be taken seriously. Dang, we're good at this. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Except it's so cheap to have the fidget spinner just make all blues wild. Oh, come on. Also, I keep choosing the wrong things with Mars. So our friendship with her is down like under 10 again. No, it's back at 11. Okay, cool. Oh. It's her birthday. Get into a debate. Persuasion 40 or greater. Okay, well, first off, here. Give gifts, you can't take them with you. Well, I've had better birthday gifts this year, but I admit the crystal is pretty fabulous. I'll add it to my collection. Alright, cool. Get that friendship. And then also, our, what, persuasion is high enough? Get into a debate. Mars would never stoop to using her fists to get her way, but she loves a good fight nonetheless. You ask her what she would have done differently if she'd been the captain of the Stratospheric when you landed, and her eyes go wide. She launches into a laundry list of shoulda wouldas, and whatever she says she would have done, you offer reasoning for why it wouldn't have worked. After a while of this, Mars is positively invigorated. Well, you really thought about this, didn't you? She says, cracking a little smile. You're totally right. It's a lot more complicated than just making decisions and telling people what to do. Nice, that one persuasion was the one we needed. Yellow cards get +1 in social challenges. It's a lot more complicated than just making decisions and telling people what to do. Thank you. It's important to have people like you around to keep me on my toes. Now that I'm governor, though, my word is law. Too bad. Okay, let's explore nearby. And hopefully we can talk to Sim and give him a heads up as to the governor situation changing. Oh, I don't see a exclamation mark over his head, though, that it would be any sort of story-related one. Alright, well, we'll talk to him to relieve some stress and maybe a little bit of kissy-kissy. Have you decided what to do about the Overseer's offer yet? Sim asks. I don't mean to exert pressure on you, but your time is running short. Please, my love, he says, convince your people to do the sensible thing. Cool. I did, but I can't tell him that, so it's just going to be the envoy during Glow. Could you help me calm down? -5 stress. You feel yourself sink into... Hold on, this is different now that we're dating. Of course, Sim murmurs, stepping into your space. His cool hands alight on your cheeks, tilting your head to look into his eyes. Within moments, you feel the burdens of your day lift off your shoulders like a balloon floating away into the sky. You feel yourself sink into Sim's embrace, and he lowers you to the ground and stretches out beside you, pillowing your head on his arm. He decorates your face with kisses, murmuring words you don't attempt to understand. Rest, my love, is the only thing that filters through. I will protect you. Let's spend some time together. You explore a dark place. Sim leads you to one of the his many underground bedrooms and turns to you with a smile that feels almost shy. You are unlike any human I have ever met, he says, running the backs of his fingers down your cheek. I would like to try something, to possibly know you as intimately as I know other gardeners. He gestures to the regeneration vat, glowing softly in the dim. If you would. You disrobe and step into the vat. Sim joins you moments later, similarly nude, and you sink together into the cool gel. Immediately you feel the frisson of connection between your mind and Sim's, and you know without thinking that the gel will not drown you. You take a deep breath and let it fill your lungs, and you both feel Sim's pride and his passion as he kisses you deeply. Quite a lot of trust to just assume that this isn't gonna me up like it did Dis, which, by the way, he should be done by now. Anyway. What happens after that, you need not speak words to understand. Aww. I love that. What have we got here? You spent so many days and weeks exploring. Some days you feel like you've seen it all, although you haven't gone very far from the colony. You have your favorite places and you're heading to one of them now. You like it because only you know how to find it. What's the goal? 69. I don't even care about +10 stress at this point. Give me that straight. +2 for every other blue card. +2 to the last card. +1 to the card to the right. And give that one a first pain +2. And then we're just gonna load up a bunch of blues. Look at all that. Whoop. Hold on. Where, like that? Like that? Sure. Only +5 stress. You try to remember the route. Left at the rotted mush tree, then uphill for a while. There it is. You arrive in a meadow of fragrant yellow flowers. Nice, -30 stress anyway. You find a soft spot to lay down amidst them and breathe in the perfume. Smells good. Go home. It's fine. We're good. We talked to Sim. We did more with Sim. Yeah, we're just passing time now until the Envoy and Glow. 2 more months. Well, 3 more months of doing something, including during Glow. Anemone, do you have anything to say? No. What do we want to do these last few months? Because I don't think that there's anything that's really going to impact the story at this point. We've got our organizing and persuasion up from helping out in administration. Maybe we just... You know, it's been a while since we've tutored. Maybe we'll work with Nougat again. Maybe we'll work with some of the youngest. Give everyone a gift. I don't necessarily know what everyone likes for gifts. And at this point I'm not, like, super trying to work on things, but sure. You like flowers. you. I don't know what you like. I will give you a cake. Learn that Cal likes cakes. Hugs incoming. And also, use a stick. Mars is talking to a sharply dressed soldier. You watch her lean in and brush a bit of lint off her uniform, looking up at her with a flirtatious smirk. You cough and Mars sees you. She straightens up and gives you a businesslike smile. Hello, Sabote. Verbena and I were just talking about how soldiers' quarters are starting to leak. Just terrible waking up to wet. Was there something you needed? It's just terrible waking up wet. Was there something you needed? Ugh. Okay, cool. I already gave her a thing recently. You like cake, I'm told. Anything else that I know? Also, blue bobber fruits and red Xeno eggs. So we're gonna go with, you know, one of those that I have a lot more of. That is fine. Mom is fine. This isn't around. Oh, there's Nomi Nomi. What do you like again? Strange devices. Looks like we're not getting anyone up to that friendship threshold. Here, Xeno egg. And the fascist can go fuck himself. Alright. Tutoring time. There's only a handful of kids that need help this month. You're able to give them all one-on-one attention. You feel gratified to see they all improve so fast. Oh, I was hoping for, like, some, like, unique narration. Meh. Okay. 7. 7. Boop. Bop. And we'll go with value wild. Reasoning's all the way up there, but +1 empathy. It's been a long time since we've done xenobotany. Maybe we just do that as something to pass some time. Let's see here. Xenobotany is biology and organizing. Organizing's there. Animals, empathy. Working on the farm's biology, toughness. Shovel dirt is toughness. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get a big old boost of toughness. Your mom loves to give biology lectures while the two of you move dirt. We're very lucky that Vertumnal soil more or less resembles Earth's already. It has few harmful salts or heavy metals that would be poisonous to people, like many planets in the Sol system. And most life in Vertumnal is carbon-based, just like on Earth. The atmosphere contains the same breathable mix of nitrogen and oxygen, which is why we chose it. But the soil is more acidic, more dense, contains less calcium and nitrogen. Not quite right. Tell me more about dirt. I didn't need more biology. Your mom smiles as she works. Well, you know we're mostly made of carbon, and we mostly breathe oxygen. But nitrogen, usually in the form of ammonia or nitrate, is another basic building block of our cells. It's in our DNA, RNA, and amino acids. She gestures at the sky. Vertumnal plants can absorb nitrogen from the air, but Earth plants and humans can't. It needs to be fixed into the soil. It's usually done with bacteria called diazotrophs, which take atmospheric nitrogen and turn it into ammonia, which Earth plants can absorb through their roots. Wow, somebody did some research. The soil in Vertumna has plenty of phosphorus and potassium, but less nitrogen. We don't know why. Where are the diazotrophs? Why isn't nitrogen left behind by decaying plants like it is on Earth? If you keep studying, maybe you can figure it out someday. I'm sure the gardeners have a lot to do with that. Wow, this is just free biology, isn't it? Vertumnal soil also has high acidity. Its pH is around 3 or 4, making plant roots less effective at absorbing nutrients. For example, corn and rice need a pH of 6. Even acid-tolerant blueberries need a pH of at least 4.5. We went through a lot of calcium carbonate when we were setting up the gardens, mostly from limestone. Limestone on Earth is made of coral or shellfish, but we haven't found any here yet. We used to have calcium oxide. We have to use calcium oxide from wood ash. It can bring the pH up a little, making the soil more alkaline. I love dirt. Well, most of the gardening on the ship was hydroponic, but there was one precious container filled with real dirt, with real bacteria, fungi, and even earthworms in it. She smiles fondly. We kept it refreshed with compost and human waste, which the worms turned into more dirt, and our crops were rotated carefully to keep the balance of nutrients just right. But now we want to expand it, so 100% of our diet can come from farms instead of nutrient packs and rations. So there you have it. Your shovel and poop. You cart it back and forth from this pile to that pile, test it for all sorts of things, and gradually add more Vertumnan soil until you have a real farm. Okay. That's awesome. Oh, toughness is almost up there. But now, it's glow. Now the envoy's gonna show up. And we're gonna see what this is all about. I think we do administration today. What do you guys say during glow? Nothing? If the attack last glow is anything to go on, this one's gonna be a walk in the park. Yeah, shut up. There won't be one, not if we do it right. So yeah, let's do administration. Whoop. Assist the governor. Though most people have made great efforts to find common ground, unrest between the Strato and Helio factions is common. The colony was founded with peaceful egalitarian goals, and the soldiers and scientists of the Heliopause represent everything your parents in the Vertumna group were trying to escape on Earth. This fundamental culture shock can be difficult to navigate, even for those with cooperation in their hearts. Then there are those who do not wish to cooperate. Instance barges into command while you're on shift, not waiting for an audience before she starts barking at Mars. Governor Mars, tell these presumptuous jarheads that they are not, and never will be, welcome in my lab. Mars looks up from her holopalm. What soldiers? What are they doing in your lab? She scrolls the duty roster, then sighs. They're not soldiers, Auntie. They're researchers just like you. Apparently some of them were like actual factual experts back on Earth. You should give them a shot. As assistants, not as lab heads. They can't just come in here and... I know they're all army weirdos. But it doesn't mean we can't use them. Like, they know way more about Earth than we do, right? Just then, the aforementioned researchers catch up to Instance and all start talking over each other, demanding that the governor order Instance to stop treating them like interns and start promoting Helios to lead positions. Instance starts yelling back, and command becomes a chaos of scientists screaming and waving their arms in consternation with each other. I'm gonna say siding with the Heliopause research. Again, this isn't gonna change things in the long run, right? But I think just say, like, they are researchers. They're not soldiers. Instance is being uncooperative and now thinks that she 100% has Mars on her side. Keeping quiet would be the worst one to do. Plus the colony defense. Working together improves the colony defense and will help repair morale. Not even Instance is above making a few compromises in the interest of harmony. You add your voice to the din, though probably only Mars hears you. She nods thoughtfully. Mars tells you to ignore them and get back to work. Organizing of 70 or higher. Listen while you file reports. You could practically write these reports back to Earth with your eyes closed, or in this case with your ears open. You half-heartedly type up a report and continue to listen in. If you think I'm just going to hand over classified colony intelligence to a bunch of space cops, Instant spits, and the researchers all clamor to deny their relationship with the Heliopause military. If Governor Mars wasn't here, you'd be sending me back to Earth in chains. Yudka, hell, Fluorescent, you're just here to arrest us all. Instant stands ramrod straight, her face crimson with flurry. Well, you're not going to get me, and you're not going to get my work either. Mars steps in. Auntie, I'm not going to let that happen. When I became governor, Lum told me he sent a message to Earth that the colony was practically destroyed. No one's coming for us. How can you know that? We haven't heard anything back from Earth since we went through the wormhole. They could be sending a new fleet of ships right now. Lum clears his throat. You hardly noticed him. Since becoming Mars' social media manager, his usual bravado has been weakened. I was in contact with Earth when I was governor. They told us to stand down and refocus our efforts on colonizing Vertumnan. The room once again erupts into chaos. You try to get back to work. These reports to Earth that you thought were just busy work may be more important than you realized. It's a shame that this art doesn't have a variant for during glow. Because, man, that looked cool. Okay, well, look at all this. Look at all that blue. Knowing the attack is coming, as it always comes in glow, does nothing to calm your nerves. There's only so long you can handle sheltering in your quarters. As the month draws longer, you find yourself almost compulsively walking the walls when you're not working, scanning the tree line for the first sign of trouble. But there shouldn't be an attack, right? Was I supposed to go somewhere to say, oh, we accept? I think they just said, we're sending an envoy, be ready for it. You're there when you see them, dark on dark shapes coming out of the forest, perfectly silent. If this isn't the envoy, then we're gonna reload and use one of those previous months to go back to the ridges. You watch with the lookouts as more and more figures amass at the forest's edge. Minutes pass as the horde pushes into the firebreak, numbering at least in the thousands, more animal than you've ever seen in one place. The ground is choked with a teeming carpet of smaller creatures, darting in and among the legs of... No. Oh no, the forest bends as a faceless emerges from the depths, followed by two more. The mood on the walls is discouraged. One faceless destroyed your colony. Two faceless require an irresponsible number of explosives to take down. How are we supposed to handle three? Wait, there's more? A familiar being cuts through the horde and stands at the front like a general leading their army. Gardeners must come in all shapes and sizes, but you know this one from the hatred in their eyes. It's Noctilucent. Noctilucent steps forward. For millennia, I have been tasked with keeping... Hold on. For millennia, I have been tasked with keeping this planet safe from invasive species. Extreme weather, plague, famine, the migration of predators. All tactics I have used to ensure an invasive species cannot find a foothold where they do not belong. The command of the human language has vastly improved since you saw them last, the gardeners learned quickly. Controlling you by indirect means has proven ineffective, they say, glaring up at the row of horrified colonists atop the walls. I can no longer ignore the destruction you have caused and the threat you represent to the planetary ecosystem. However, Sim steps out of the tree line and stands beside Noctilucent. His eyes find yours unerringly across the firebreak. Some gardeners argue that you have the capacity for reason. So I have come to offer you an alternative. Your unconditional surrender. Noctilucent smirks up at you. Surrender is the correct word, is it not? Something your singular, violent brains can understand. The terms are simple. Humanity will cease reproduction, cease expansion, and in turn will be allowed to live out your remaining lifespans within the bounds of your walls. Do you accept? What do you mean, cease reproduction? That was never part of the deal. She beckons you forward too. This is the moment you've been trying to make happen. Sabote, there's no way people are going to accept never having children. That's just, we'll go extinct. Can you make them give us a better deal? You look down at Noctilucent, a figure of malevolent patience across the firebreak. This might be the only chance you'll get, but you can try. The Overseer did not mention that the slow extinction of humanity was part of their deal. The other colonists would never accept something as drastic as forced sterilization, like the pets or curiosities in a zoo dwindling into oblivion behind the walls. You couldn't even ask them to make that choice, which leaves you with two. We need a better deal. Noctilution's patience is running out. Behind them, the amassed animal army lies in wait. The offer is already generous. Do you think I consulted with the venomous slapfingers when they overhunted the abyssal driftworms? Or the creeping crossthorn vine when it choked the southern shoreline? No. I did what was needed to restore balance, as my gardener directive entails. Sim lays a hand on Noctilucen's arms. The humans can be reasoned with, he says firmly. Just hear them out, please. What do you propose, Sobote? We must be allowed to reproduce. Let's load up these early pluses. +1 to yellow cards. Doot. I would have liked more blue to just go all in on making that super easy, but that's fine. Plus to the third stage of challenges. 8. Do we have a 7? No, we do not. Alright, cool. That does it. Can we do better? Find me a slightly better hand. Okay. Why is that? No, okay, so card to the right becomes 5. 44. Good. +1 for gem on other cards. It's not being used at all. So close. So close. Oh. Duh. What, Oh, that just becomes a 5. Hold on. So let's do that. There we go. You are well spoken for a pest, Noctilucen concedes. However, is humanity even capable of considering the survival of all creatures over their own, even if it means accepting limitations? Of course we are. Multiple back-to-back challenges. Okay, so don't burn everything as soon as given the opportunity to. Let's... Oh, I don't have a lower one, so that +6 is the highest value. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Boom, boom. But then, +2. Great. Next up, we have 4 slots and we have 4 reds. Cool. Now, +5 to flushes with this card. +5 during mental challenges. All cards to the right become blue. +1 if the card to the left is blue. And you know what? You're blue. High score. Score 75 in a single hand. Did I do that? Oh, man. You argued that the success of the Vertumnan project in leaving Earth shows that you've learned from your mistakes. Maybe humanity as a whole wasn't able to change trajectory back on Earth, but the colony self-selected those that could. Noctilucent listens to all of this, looking a little more convinced. Have you learned anything from living here, though? They ask. Can you coexist with this planet's native wildlife? Animals challenge. Okay. +6 if the card to the left is blue, so poof. Next, alright, cool. We've got a lot here. So, well, actually, let's do others. +2 if that's the highest value. It is. Boom. And then wild. Next. Now we'll just load up blue. So many super goals. I think we did persuasion, then, so we've done one of each so far. Noctilucent seems impressed. You learned all that in 10 years. It seems you aren't completely ignorant. Very well, they say, motioning for the army to stand down. You have argued your case and shown you can adapt to your surroundings. And the new terms are: the Overseer has agreed to offer the humans reproductive autonomy and limited expansion within your ecological niche. Additionally, the gardeners will ensure the continued health of this valley, fertile soil, clean water, favorable animal migration patterns, and so on. Behind you, colonists are beginning to carefully come forward to listen, murmuring in wonder. To be clear, Noctilucent continues, there will be no hunting, clearing, mining, or expanding beyond the valley. Humanity must live in harmony with nature rather than attempt to control it. You will come to understand that you do not stand above the needs of the planet. Your mom comes up beside you and puts her hands on your shoulder. It's what we wanted this whole time, she says in disbelief. When we left Earth, this is everything we dreamed we could be. But the Helios arrived on a military mission, carrying their burdens from Earth, and may resent any deal with the gardeners. The decision may not be popular, but it will give humanity a chance at peace. A true peace. We agree to your terms. The animals surrounding the colony begin to filter back into the trees, disappearing into the gloom of the late-glow wilderness. Your knees buckle. You feel like you could sleep for a week. All around you, you hear people crying. In relief, maybe, or fear. Tears pour down your face, unbidden, as the colony comes out to clamor around you. Many are smiling, and some look numb and scared. Some look angry. It hasn't sunk in yet, even as you're hoisted onto someone's shoulders and paraded around the colony. You did it. You won. The party continues well into the night, and for a few days after that as well, until the suns rise above the horizon once again. It begins to set in that the colony will never see another monster attack, or famine, or plague. Most people think this sounds pretty good. The others are soundly overruled for now. As for you, now you can focus on just being your best self, without worrying about day-to-day survival. That relief carries you through until quiet breaks on a new year. Your 20th birthday. You turn 20 amidst a time of tremendous joy and unity in the colony. You aren't a teenager anymore, so I guess that makes you an adult. Though in many ways, you've already been one for a long time. You step out onto your balcony to greet the new day and start the rest of your life on Vertumnan. Peace on Vertumnan. Negotiate with the gardeners at the end of age 19. You reached your 20th birthday. We're gonna get this song one more time. Botanist! Again? Really? Like, yes, I did do botany, but did that define this playthrough? Like, I got this ending the first time that I played. That's really weird. I would have thought that I'd get a different ending from everything that I've done. From getting Mars into governor, from, you know, negotiating the peace. I thought that would be a different ending, right? Unless multiple can stack, but I don't think so. Although I think the endings are as much just, what do you do? Not what happens to the colony, what happens to you. There's no end of species to discover in Vertumnan. In your lifetime, you discover over 13,000 different species of flora and fauna, and some that transcend that distinction too. How can I go out exploring and this is really weird. One of the benefits of the naming convention the Vertumnan group chose for your children is that it's pretty easy to turn them into formal scientific-sounding names. Future generations will remember the first Vertumnan colonists. Your names immortalized as flowers, birds, and yes, the occasional worm or two. Luminescent. Or Lum. No, what is his full name? Is it Luminescent? Which, contrasts with Noctiluminescent? Oh, Noctilucent, okay. You work under Cal, who's a better boss than he wants to admit. He doesn't mind when you disappear for a month to go tromping around in search of some new variation of fungus. Right, Cal becomes the head of botany if Mom doesn't make it. But what about symbiosis, the bridge between two peoples? Undying, never aging, ever-patient Sim remains one of your closest confidants. For a few years, it's quite common to see gardeners move around the colony in various forms, teaching the humans about the history of Vertumna and how to live in harmony with the land. Sim is one of them, of course, and the only one who doesn't treat you like some kind of curiosity in a zoo. After a few years, the other gardeners leave humanity to figure things out on their own. Sim stays on to act as an emissary and moves into the colony to live with you full-time. You, specifically. You would think that living with your alien boyfriend would be weird, but you've already shared everything of yourselves by interfacing through the array. The intimacy of accidentally using the same toothbrush is nothing when you've lived inside his memories of being a mush tree. You move into a gardener-like abode where Sim can form a connection to the array, glowing pool and all. Sim is enthralled with the idea of children. Smaller, even less predictable humans, what's not to love? Though you never raise any of your own, he is beloved by the colony's youngest generation. Aww. Your union is recognized by the colony, even if few people understand it. You skip the usual party, the commitment ceremony, the vows, the feasting, and hold a more intimate gathering instead. Just you, him, and the thousands of minds that touch yours with curiosity as you lie in Sim's interfacing vat and introduce your consciousness to the array. Though you've already done this with Sim, meeting your extended family deepens the bond you have with him. You understand how strange his position is as one of the few independent minds of the array. Do we meet Dis in that? You think Sim enjoys living in the colony, but he never quite fits in. He reincarnates a few times into forms that look more human, but he also once famously returned to the colony as a swarm of hecklebees, just to prove a point about how the gardener consciousness transcends form. It's a bit unnerving, but that's Sim for you. Your parents get to see their pioneer dreams come true. With the forest bursting with food, they're both able to lay down the burden of feeding the entire colony. They still work in geoponics, but recreationally. Your dad cultivating dizzyweeds and hops, your mother working on the personal gardens of earth plants. Now that the gardeners are keeping an eye on the colony too, her earth plants flourish without threatening to take over the local flora. They live long, happy lives, and you eventually return them both to the soil that they love so much. They'll always be with you. In the ground you walk on, in the trees that give you shade, in the cycle of life that sustains you. I realize the music's getting a little loud. I can't turn it down right now. I'm just going to be closer to the mic. But what about... Your Hopeye is a good companion, but you're no replacement for its own species. When a herd of Hopeye roam close enough to the colony, you release it back into the wild. And a few years later, you're greeted one morning by a whole litter of Hopeye kittens outside your door, and hop solo, proudly showing off their family. Your Vricky grows from the size of a small dog to the size of a bear, becoming more and more unwieldy and more terrifying to small children. Before the council can force you to do anything about your arachnid octopus friend, Squidly Botason just disappears. You look everywhere in the colony for it, but your answer comes from outside the wall, a new Vricky nursery tree. Soon the colony is host to many curious Vricky pups, who call your Squidly Botason home. Your Unisaur will seemingly live forever, just as cantankerous as she's always been. Twilight Sparkle is bored in the colony, though, and ultimately, even though you've made great strides in taming her, you'll never domesticate her or her species. You decide it's best to release her into the wild. She deigns to give you a regal nuzzle before sprinting off into the swamps where you found her. And in my later years, the days turn to months, eventually becoming years, then decades. Before you know it, you're old. You live in harmony with nature. Living under the gardeners, lovingly tended like any other species in their garden, it's like a paradise. The trees are heavy with fruit, the weather is mild, and the colony is unbothered by the larger xenofauna that once menaced it. You even see faceless ones sometimes, sitting in clearing like inert sentinels, their broad, mossy bodies home to clusters of small animals. Over the years, a few dissenting groups refuse to believe that the entire planet is off limits to humans. In the spirit of human expansion, they break off from the colony in search of somewhere outside of gardener influence. Some return, chastised, but others never do. Pruned, just like any invasive weed. The surveyors work exhaustively to map the boundaries of the human territory, and the scientists and engineers work on countless simulations to test its carrying capacity. Within a few years, you have concrete numbers about how many humans can live comfortably while still maintaining equilibrium with the planet. Mother Vertumna is generous, and humanity flourishes. There's more than enough space to live, and for future generations to enjoy as well. You do so well, in fact, that a gardener emissary comes to you with an offer, a second human territory. That's awesome. I was hoping that that would be the case, that they would see us doing well and allow us to expand in a way that is balanced. It's a show of trust, but also a chance to prove your worth by helping keep down the population of a stubborn but delicious invasive mollusk. They've prepared a proto-colony and will take 100 humans to begin their new lives as a seaside community. You're sad to see them go, but it's a great sign for the future of humanity on Vertumna. So no communication, well, no transport between colonies? Interesting. Vertumna's your home now, and you've made it a good one. You die at a ripe old age, surrounded by loved ones. And now, in the moment of your death, as your brain cells fizzle out, one by one, and shut down forever, a vision swims in your mind's eye. A person. They seem so familiar. You feel like you know them so well. It's you, only ancient. His arms are covered with so many data bands, so many lifetimes of knowledge. The ancient you speaks without moving his mouth. Not in words, but in something like pictures. Still, you understand. He greets you with a love that you can feel suffuse through your soul. You did well, he says. Oh, you did well, he says. It's not easy to make someone put aside their ego and surrender to a greater power. Humans have tried before, and it hasn't always been pretty. I hope you can manage to do it again, because you're not done yet. Honestly? I'm gonna say I live my best life. That was so good. Like, maybe it could be better by shades, but the colony is safe. All of the kids we grew up with are safe. Mom and Dad are safe. I think maybe things could go better for Anemone. I think that there's other things that could be better. Maybe. But honestly, this was such a good run. I lived my best life. But we still get this. I can tell from the weight of your soul, he says sadly, that many of your friends and family died before their time. People who might not have, perhaps, if you had made different choices. He pats your shoulder consolingly. It's natural in grief to wish you could have done something different, to have saved someone. But we're special, aren't we? We really can save them. We have a chance to take another path, to change the way our life turned out. Come with me. Endings. Yeah, so we got Botanist again. That's annoying. Gotten some achievements. and that's going to be loud, so I'm going to hit quit. Well, that was I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. As much as old us was saying, oh, we could do better, whatever, no, that was a really solid run. Like, especially for run 2, like, I thought it was something that you would have to build up more and more experience as you play multiple runs, and each time can get better. But that was so good. That was such a good run. You know, we explored a couple alternatives on the way, but that feels to me like the good ending. And I'm sure that there's events that can happen a little better along the way, but, like, saving off Governor Udicott paid off big time. And, like, got us a couple more council votes. We got Lum out of there. Like, I almost wish I could just see more of what Mars did as she continued to, you know, run the colony. You know, I wanted a little more details on that, but who knows? Maybe next time that I play, I'll try to go for governor myself. Who knows? But for now, that's going to do it. I don't think I'm going to return to this game on stream. But for the one playthrough that we did on stream, and now it's been going up to YouTube, I'm so happy with how it went. And, you know, I want to thank the people that have popped into the stream from watching the game. Weren't here today, but Ditzy, thank you very much for the help that you've given and for watching and enjoying along the way. Of course, huge thanks to Riggy, Griffey, and Shady, the regulars, Spyro popping in now and then, and I know we've had a few others that have come in during the playthrough. It's meant a lot to me to be able to share this with you guys. I don't know what game we're going to play next week. Today is the 6th. We've got 2 more weeks before St. Jude Children's Research Hospital fundraising starts. I will... You know what? While I'm on stream right here, let me update my Play Live thing. Go to Nightbot. I was about to type ! Play Live because that's the thing that's going to be happening. But I need to update St. Jude calls Play Live. Play Live is right there. Okay, there we go. Butterbug Play Live 2025 update. Yeah. So again, we're not like actively raising right now, but we can get a bit of a jump on things. You can check things out. We got some cool things scheduled. I'll work more on the schedule as we go in. I think I've got something cool planned for May the 4th on Sunday. So, but yeah, it's gonna be a good season. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a long season too, just the way that the math works out. So. Thank you all so much for watching. I had a wonderful time playing I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. I'll probably come back to this game some more on my own, but I'm so thrilled with how this playthrough went that I was able to share with all of you. Be sure that you're subscribed, following here for more. Subscribe over at YouTube to see the VOD of this go up, as well as everything else that comes out on YouTube. Last week was a really busy week for uploads on my channel, so check out some of those. And that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.